Hi, this is Birch Keeley, and this is the first of a set of videos we're creating to help you learn more about some of the great features of our application, directEDGAR's search, extraction, and normalization engine. In this first set of videos, we're going to focus on a very specific data collection problem. We want to find the audit committee meeting frequency for a particular list of CIKs or a particular list of SEC registrants. It's really important whenever you begin working with SEC filings that you put aside any expectations that you might have about the nature of the disclosure and the exact language and form the disclosure is going to take. The fact of the matter is your success depends upon understanding the form of the disclosure, but you can't know the form of the disclosure until you've reviewed a decent set of filings from your target list of companies. We've learned over time that the more heavily regulated the disclosure is, the more structured the actual disclosure will be in the filing. But that almost doesn't matter, because if you have a list of companies that you need to collect the data for, even if the disclosure is heavily regulated, there's going to be some variety or some variance in the way the disclosure is made. So you're going to have to poke around at the filings to find out exactly how the disclosure is made so that you can search for it. And once we search for it and we start learning the actual form of the disclosure, then we can extract it. We might be extracting text, we might be extracting tables, but once we can identify the form of the disclosure, we can extract it. And if we can extract it, we can turn it into data. That's what we call the normalization process. So remember, in our particular case, we want to collect data about the audit committee meeting frequency. I want to be able to put a parameter in an estimation model that includes, or I'm sorry, the parameter is the number of meetings held by the audit committee. So for me to collect that, I need to find it within the filings. Now, if I begin with a very naive perspective and assume that all I know about the reporting of audit committee meetings is that it's that the disclosure is likely going to take some form where the word or the phrase audit committee is within a pretty tight window of either some word rooted on meeting or the word met. For example, the audit committee met in times, or the audit committee had 30 meetings, or something like that. So that's what I'm going to start searching for, is to find out exactly how this disclosure exists. You can see in my search phrase here, it actually begins with something I haven't talked about yet. Doc type contains DEF star. What I want to do is I want to limit my search to DEF 14As, and we'll talk more about fields and how to use those in searches in a later video. But I'm just going to wave my hands and let you know that this is the basic search that I'm going to run. So here's the application. To use the application, I need to specify a specific index library. When directEDGAR ships to our customer, it includes a directEDGAR accounting and a directEDGAR finance index library. So in my case, I'm going to begin with the directEDGAR accounting library, and now I need to select a specific index or collection of filings that I want to search. In this case, I want to search proxy filings that were made. I'm actually going to look at or limit my search to proxies made or filed after January 1st, 2019. So I want to pick the proxy master Y 2016 through Y 2020. I cheated earlier and got my search set up outside, so you don't have to watch me type it. I'm just going to paste that in, because I want you to focus on the next two features. First off, I want to limit my search to a specific list of registrants. So I'm going to set a CIK filter. So I'm going to use the controls to set a CIK file. However, rather than using an existing CSV file, I'm going to paste it from the clipboard. I've got a notepad file here that's got a list of the CIKs that I want to use. I've actually got 1929 CIKs. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to end up pasting that into the application. I'm going to hit OK. I also want to set a date filter. We'll talk in a later video about the difference between the R date and the C date. I'm going to limit my search to filings with an R date after January 1st, 2019. So I'm going to use the date picker part of the application to specify that. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm ready to run my search. So the search is going to run, and then it's going to render all the results. So what happened, if you can look at the screen, is the application found 22,321 documents in that particular index that met the search criteria. So now the application is filtering on top of the actual search criteria for our CIK set and our date range. This will take about 45 seconds on my computer. We're almost done. When complete, every one of the relevant documents will be available to me, and I'll also have a list of those registrants or those CIKs for which no results were found. You can see right here it says 1,929 CIKs submitted. There's 104 CIKs missing. I, of course, want to collect data on those particular 104 CIKs, or I need to find out why they're missing. So to get access to that list, I just press the View Misses, and I can copy it to a clipboard or save it as a CSV file. We won't go into that right now. Instead, I want to simply point out that now I've got 3,373 documents, and I've got my search results, so I can muck around within this set of documents and start looking very specifically for how my disclosure exists. If you look at this first one, it says the audit committee met 7 times. So that's very useful for me if I want to collect this data, if I want to know the number 7. You know, I can go down and look at the 3,373rd document, and it tells me that the audit committee held 8 meetings. So this is a different form of the disclosure. Not to worry, we're going to be able to collect this data in a later video. So that's it on the search. I want to kind of summarize exactly what took place. We selected an index library, then we selected one or more indexes. We have to address the questions. Do we want to limit our search by CIK? Well, if we do, then we just either paste in a list of CIKs or we use a CSV file that has a CIK column heading. We can use a date picker if we want to limit our search by dates, and then we build our search. The fact of the matter is that there are limits to the search that you can submit. There can be no more than 32,000 characters in the actual search string that we use. If we want to use fields, we're going to end up having to look at the help menu. We submit the search, and then we get to review the search to find the particular form of the disclosures. And I want to point out one last thing in this video. I talk about fields, and we used a particular field in this search. I want to point out to you that within the help section of the application, if you go to the searching tab and look down, you'll find a section on field definitions and use. I'll cover that in a later video. Thanks a lot for your patience. I hope you have a great day.